The purpose of this video is just to cover the high points within Chapter 1. So first, let's log into the system as the root user. Once inside of here, we're going to take a look at 3 key attributes within our index.html file. So in order to retrieve this file, we're just going to navigate to eurobank.com. So eurobank.com, and then here's that file. So now the reason we're going into great depth into describing these 3 key attributes is because, think about it, and this is the page that all the clients are going to receive when navigating to eurobank.com. So this is their home page. So a lot of attackers, when doing their attacking, are going to be doing it from here. And in order to understand a vulnerability, you have to understand how the system works. So we're starting right here. So now to see these 3 key attributes that I'm referring to, we're going to right-click and view the page source. Inside the page source, the attributes are name, method, and action. So the first one we're going to discuss is the method. So now we're going to come onto the desktop, and I'm going to explain the method by using this capture over here. So the HTTP method that one uses is going to determine how the data is going to be sent from the client to the server. So for example, if we look at what our method is set to within our client-side file, we can see that it's post. So when we submit the form, we're submitting the data that we supply to both the username and password input fields, and we're relaying it via the HTTP post method, which means we're sending it in the message body of that transmission. So this will make more sense when we take a look at this inside of Chapter 2, when we're actually going to run a lab that will allow us to see the communications as it goes from the client to the server. So in any event, when relaying the data from client to server, we're going to be doing it via the HTTP post method. So now the next attribute that I'm going to discuss is going to be the action. So we can see the action over here set to nothing. So in a later lab, we're going to install PHP. And then in a subsequent lab after that, we're going to set this action to a PHP script. Now this PHP script is going to reside within the web services directory of our web server. And what's going to be outlined within this script is going to be a post function. So your post function, the argument to it, is going to be used to reference whatever data it wants to retrieve from this file. So the way that it's going to do this is it's basically going to reference what is referenced by the name attribute within here. So to see that, we're going to once again check our client-side file. And what you're going to find is both for the username and password input fields, we have a name attribute which is identifying a document unique token ID. So this is used by PHP in order to reference which data it wants to be sent via the HTTP post method. So we've got a unique token ID for the username field and a unique token ID for the password field. Now again, this is just a high level of what we're seeing inside of our index.html file and the whole process of how it's going to work. But as we're going to see, we won't fully understand exactly what I'm talking about until we actually run some labs. And we're going to do that later on.